Hello and good morning to everyone. Welcome to today's webinar where we'll be discussing about mentoring for impact learning. Mentorship and coaching is a topic that is very close to my heart because as business leaders, as managers, as supervisors, we look to be able to transfer our skills to the young ones that are coming up in our different industries. At the same time, we want to be mentored and coached so that we can become better at what we do. To help us through this topic today is my friend, Esther Kirebi. Esther is an experienced educator and a counseling psychologist with knowledge in HR functions and humanitarian work. She teaches and lectures at various learning institutions here in Kenya. In consultancy, she has specialized in mentorship and community service, career counseling, and facilitates drug and alcohol prevention. She's passionate about the girl child education and handles workplace counseling. And this topic could not have come even at a better time since October is normally the month of mental health. So I believe we're in the safe hands of Esther. This particular session will be for 1 hour. We'll have a presentation from Esther for 45 minutes. And at the end of her presentation, we'll have 15 minutes of any questions and answers. We've already started receiving questions from different participants. So I look forward to getting the answers and solutions to these questions from Esther at the end of the session. For myself, my name is Purity Wanjiro. I'm the director of Accurex Leadership and Management Consultants Limited. We are a HR consulting firm based here in Nairobi. We specialized in training, coaching, mentorship, team building. It's now the team building season for various companies. I'm keen to discuss more about our company at the end of this webinar. But for now, I welcome Esther to take us through this topic of mentoring for impact learning. Karibu sana, Esther.
Thank you, Purity. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Yes. I hope you're all well.
Yes, we are.
Yes, and I can attest that you are hearing me.
Yes.
So I'm Esther Kirebi, and I wish to do a presentation on mentorship. So I'll start by introducing what mentorship is. And I want to share my screen first. Okay. All right. Okay.
Do you need some help, Esther?
Yes. Okay, you can get me now.
Yes.
I want to do my presentation on mentorship, and I welcome you all. So today, we are going to focus on mentoring for impact learning.
Hi, mentoring. Esther. I
yes.
doubt you're sharing your screen.
Oh, not yet?
Yes.
Okay. Am I sharing?
Not yet.
Okay.
Just go to share screen on your laptop.
Okay.
Are you able to
All
see
right.
your presentation?
Sorry.
Are you able to see your presentation?
Yeah, wait a bit. Hold on just a bit. Okay. Okay, just sorry. I hope now you.
Yes, we are able to see it.
All right. Okay. So I'd wish to begin with, so today I said sharing about mentorship, and it's about mentoring for impact learning. So in this case, I'll want to start with an introduction. That is mentoring for impact learning. So I think there's a hiccup.
What is the issue on your end?
Let me see why it's not, the screen is not coming. Okay. Oh, sorry.
We are now able to see your screen.
Can you see?
Yes.
You can see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay, let's begin. So it's mentorship for impact learning. So to introduce, I want to say that we look at mentorship meaning. We'll also look at the purpose of work organization. We'll also focus on the various types of mentoring. We'll discuss also the real roles of mentorship, areas to be covered in mentorship, and we'll want to also know what is a mentoring program in the workplace. We'll also go through mentoring program process, illustration. We'll also look at the key factors to consider while working on successful mentoring program. We'll also discuss the benefits of workplace mentoring to employee and employers. We'll also look at the common challenges of mentoring that an organization may face, also challenges in mentoring relationships and strategies for overcoming the challenges, and eventually we'll go to the summary and conclusion. So to introduce, we'll first of all define what mentorship is. Mentorship is a relationship in which a more experienced and more knowledgeable person helps to guide less experienced or less knowledgeable person. The mentor may be older or younger than the person being mentored, but they must have a certain area of expertise. And in this case, it will be a common area of expertise. And then other than that, we'll want to know what a mentor is. A mentor is someone who teaches or gives help and advice to a less experienced and often younger person. But this is not the case always. Nowadays, we are even having the younger people mentoring even the older ones. And then a mentee, which in some cases called mentoree or protege. This is a person who is advised, trained, or counseled by a mentor. Those are the introductory definitions that will help us to understand the whole presentation. Now, the purpose of workplace mentorship programs for the mentor, mentee, and organization. In this case, The purpose of mentoring is to tap into the existing knowledge, skills, and experience of high-performing employees and transfer these skills to newer or less experienced employees in order to advance their careers. So once someone starts a mentorship program, it means there is a purpose for the same. So which are these types of mentoring programs that we have? Now, the mentoring models range from very traditional to highly innovative. Now, next we discuss some of the most commonly used models in the workplace. Number one, we have traditional or one-on-one mentoring. We also have distance mentoring, which we also call e-mentoring, virtual or online mentoring. You can see what we are going through now. It is more of this. And then we have group mentoring, cross-sectional mentoring, reverse mentoring, anonymous mentoring, and micro mentoring. Now, let me briefly discuss what traditional one-on-one mentoring means. In this case, a mentee and a mentor are matched either through a program or on their own. So the mentee and mentor partner and participate in a relationship which structure and time frame of their making or as established by a formal mentoring program. This is like one-on-one, two people meet and the mentor tries to guide the another. It is the one that is very common. In the past, this is what has been being used always. Then we also have distant mentoring, also known as e-mentoring, or virtual or online mentoring. Here, a mentoring relationship in which the two parties or a group are in different locations. And then now facilitation takes place using electronic communication tools like email, social media, chat rooms, and instant messaging. So the sessions can be conducted entirely online, or sometimes it's supplemented with in-person mentoring, or they can meet once in a while. That is the mentor and mentee, but basically it is online. Number three, we have group mentoring, where a single mentor is matched with a cohort of mentees. Initially, there is a program structure which is provided, and then in this case, it allows the mentor to monitor their progress and pace and activities. And number four, we have cross-organizational mentoring. Now, this cross-organizational mentoring is whereby it occurs when the mentor and the mentee are in different organizations. And in this case of this kind of mentorship, you find that one organization could be having a shortage of qualified mentors. And in case there's a shortage of qualified mentors, one organization will benefit from the other. And this form of mentoring may be particularly useful for small organizations like a family business, startup, or nonprofits, which in this case, the smaller organization will benefit from the larger organization, which is more experienced. Then we also have the reverse mentoring. This one is actually becoming common nowadays because it involves pairing a junior staff member with a senior leader to increase the senior leader's knowledge. Now, it increases the knowledge, the skills, or understanding in a particular area, such as technology, diversity, or differences between the generations. And this one is happening right now, especially when we have the senior members who are not so much knowledgeable with like technology and even diversity, like the culture that they are so much used to is we are headed where we are getting into, the world is getting to the like global village, whereby we have to understand all diversities from everywhere. So in this case, even the younger people will mentor the older ones. And then we also have anonymous mentoring, which is a specialized mix of e-mentoring and cross-organizational mentoring. And in this case, the identities of the mentor and mentee are kind of masked. In this way, you'll be presenting to people maybe, or mentoring a person that you don't really know. And this is sometimes because of the security reasons. And this type of mentoring is usually coordinated by an external provider. Like in sensitive matters, you are being mentored, but now a question we ask ourselves, where and when do you think we have such a kind of mentorship where not necessarily that you know the person who's mentoring you? You can think about it as we go through this presentation. And then finally, we have the micro mentoring, which involves the creation of short developmental episodes focused on a particular topic. For example, a junior employee might attend a small discussion forum to seek the advice of seasoned experts within the company, or she could schedule individual meetings with multiple senior experts. And this one will expose the mentee to multiple senior leader and their ideas, and it could lead to a longer term mentoring relationship. I think this one is very common all over. Like there are some areas you're not at workplace, you are not so conversant with. And in these areas now, you will require a section where you'll be mentored so that you can know or understand it better how to work. Now, next, we are going to look at roles of mentorship. Actually, the role of mentorship, number one, is consultancy. A mentor is a consultant. Number two, counseling. A mentor is a counselor. Number three, cheerleading. A mentor is a cheerleader. Why do I say this? Now, for consultancy, we say that this is the most obvious role for a mentor to play. Just as consultants are hired to provide specialized recommendations based on a wealth of industry knowledge, mentors are responsible for sharing their own business insights gained through years of real world experience. Like they have the information that they can pass over to people who have less experience. Then a mentor is a counselor. Basically, because I have expertise in this area of counseling. Now, what does a counselor do? The main role of a counselor is to provide guidance, but not answers. It is always believed in counseling that the person who's being counseled, and in this case, a client, is or has solutions to his or her own problems. So in this case, the role of the counselor is to just guide, not necessarily give answers, but the answers will come from the client. And then a mentor is also a cheerleader. Remember those days in high school? I remember in high school, whenever the football, the sports clubs could go out, they could, sometimes some students could be selected to go out as cheering squad. So nowadays, I've come to understand why our teachers could select a few students to join the cheering squad, because they knew that for the players to make it or to succeed and win, they required people who could cheer them. So a mentor is a cheerleader. Now, in addition to all the constructive feedback and advice that a mentor can give, they should also provide what we call support and enthusiasm. So, as you are being mentored, if you are the mentee, you should be understanding deep inside that at least there's someone who's rooting for you. So mentors should help celebrate a mentee's success, no matter how big or small. That is the role of a mentor. Next, we are looking at the areas to be covered in mentoring. I'm going to, actually, it is very true that if you remember right from the time you are very young, you realize even your parents were mentoring you. So in a human being's life, actually, mentorship is required in learning. So someone starts learning right from the time of birth, in working skills and in living skills. So in learning, one will learn to be responsible, organized, being initiative, to be independent. And even that is why we have mentorship in high schools and colleges and even in primary schools. That students also require the learning skills for them to know, to be guided and know what to do next. Then at workplace, we need at workplace, people need to be mentored in communication, teamwork, problem solving, leadership, organizational skills, analytical skills, plus many other skills. In living, human beings require mentorship. And the skills that they require, including hygiene, grooming, housekeeping, health skills, leisure, how to spend your leisure so that you're not lost in drugs, self-awareness, empathy, like character formation. And when someone is mentored in this way, they become all round. And I want to look at what a mentoring program at the workplace will entail. What is a mentoring program in the workplace? Now, at the workplace, a mentoring program helps new hires or those beginning their careers find experienced mentors who can guide them on their professional journeys. Mentorship programs at workplace can increase employee retention, boost workplace satisfaction, foster professional growth, and in this case, the organization will be successful. A well-organized program offers structure and guidance throughout the mentorship process to maximize its benefits. And in this way, now, there will be employee retention and there will be workplace satisfaction and there will be what we call professional growth if there is a mentorship program ongoing at the workplace. So next, I look at how to start a mentoring program process. First of all, if you want to start this program at your workplace, you have to define the program's goal. Those goals are not only going to be smart, but they are going to be even smarter. Now, we outline again the mentoring process in the workplace after defining your goal, establishing your goal. Now, think about the process. As you think about the process, select program participants, match the mentors and the mentees. And then after that, provide a mentorship training. Now, to define the mentorship program, that is the goal, The goal, as we have always learned, that the goals are supposed to be SMART, that is specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. But as we focus on that as a mentor or an organization that is starting a mentorship program focuses on that, the goals should be specific, measurable, action-oriented, realistic, timed, evaluated, and reviewed. And then the process begins. First of all, identify the needs. If you have identified I have a need in this area, set the goals. I've talked about the goals. So set your goals. Establish an agreement. So here there will be communication. And then observe what's happening. Try to get feedback. The feedback will always come from the participants, from from the administrators, from the managers, through when you analyze the level of production, and then action plan, and then finally review. At the end of the mentorship program, you have to review and try to see really, did it work? So that one will also go step by step, and it entails a lot. And then after that, select program participants. After the process, now you select participants. How are you going to select the participants? Successful mentoring programs in the workplace rely on a diverse pool of mentors and mentees. And in this case, there are many ways through which you can select the participants. It can be voluntary, or the organization can establish who require mentorship. And as you do this, gather details of the participants, like what are their professional backgrounds, which are the skills they have, which are the strengths, which are their weaknesses, such. And in this case, the mentor will understand what level of skills the mentees may require, so that in this case, they can be supported. So choose mentors who are successful. If you are picking mentors from within the organization, let them be those people who are successful and well respected within the company. In this case, they'll easily influence others. Those are the mentees. Or select mentors who are dedicated also to the job, people who are serious. And then lastly, it is after the participants, now we go to match the mentors and mentees. It's pairing, it's called pairing. In this case, facilitate enriching mentorship opportunities by mindful pairing your mentors and mentees, depending on their strengths and weaknesses, and many other factors. So sometimes we let them even participate in the selection process, so that in this case, in this way, they own the process. And then provide mentorship training. So before a program begins, also you can train your mentors or even assess their capability before you can start the whole process. Then, as you provide the mentorship training, the mentors discuss the options which your mentors, and encourage them to work closely with the mentees to devise a program that works for both. Let it be something that is realistic for it to be successful. While individuals can seek out mentors on their own, there is a great value of offering structured formats of pairing them sometimes. So we can't say that let the mentors pick their mentees or the mentees pick their mentors. No, sometimes it depends. We can give a little of freedom, but then again, sometimes they are required to just be paired by by the program manager. And then next, we are looking at the key factors to consider while working on a successful mentoring program. Number one, communicate. Communicate, communicate, communicate. So number 2 is embed mentoring in your culture. And number 3, evaluate. Why communicate? Make sure that everyone in your organization knows that mentoring is going on. Preferably, the leaders of the organization should play a large role in communicating, so that later on people don't just say, give excuses, I didn't know it was happening, I even don't understand how it happened. So it is communicating to the other employees or those who require to be mentored, so that they understand that this process is going to take place. Another one, embed mentoring in your culture, so that these people in the organization or at the workplace do not just say that, that is a HR initiative. We don't know what they are doing. It's a formality. Once it becomes a culture, so the mentees own up the program, and in this way, the organization will benefit. Lastly, evaluate. When you find a goal, find a way to measure whether or not your program is making progress towards it. Ask mentors and mentees how their experiences went. Look at their productivity. Measure, as we said, that our goals not only need to be smart, but also they need to be smarter. Now, what are the benefits of workplace mentoring to employees? Workplace mentoring programs help employees to do the right thing by exposing them to senior employees that know how to do the right thing. This helps the employee perform more effectively and gives the employee more satisfaction. So these benefits include onboarding, employee satisfaction, retention, high productivity, career growth, for the sake of succession planning, knowledge management and retention, as I said earlier on, quality, synergy, and to even reduce what we call frustration, and finally, to gain connections. Now, let me talk a little bit about onboarding. Speed up the process of bringing on new hires and speed up the process of redeploying existing employees into new lines of work, so that at least they easily get to know what's happening at the workplace, what they are required to do, what the organization, the employer expects them to do. Number 2 is employee satisfaction. Studies have shown that employees that participate in mentoring programs have a higher job satisfaction. And what does higher job satisfaction lead to? It leads to productivity, high productivity, and reduced turnover. Now, number 3 is employee retention. Again, studies have shown that employees that are mentored stay on the job longer than those that are left to sink or swim. You know, sometimes when you don't understand what's happening, you feel like you are off and you can't even understand what's happening. And in this case, people even start looking for other jobs. Number 3 is productivity. That is number 4. Employees participating in mentoring programs have an effective mechanism for getting answers quickly, allowing them to move on quickly. And in this way, they will reinvent solutions to common problems. And what happens? There will be higher production. Next is career growth and even for succession planning. When employees are mentored, They provide career growth path. When you mentor your employees, they get career growth path. And in this way, it can reduce hiring costs and turnover costs. And eventually, mentoring is an effective mechanism for grooming employees to fill key roles as part of your organization's succession plan. Like if there's this person who was highly skilled, now they are leaving, how is the organization going to make it? So leaders need to mentor other leaders who can actually inherit them. 6 is knowledge management and retention. As an organization or at workplace, a certain institution also should have a way of keeping their knowledge intact. Not that once someone who's knowledgeable in something leaves, everything is left pending. No. Employees that have the skills need to share their knowledge with others so that in this case, we can have like a data bank of knowledge. And then next is quality. Dr. Edwards Deming has shown that organizations, that this is someone who has done keen studies in leadership and mentorship, that organizations that are that care about the quality, they become very profitable. So here the junior employees are taught the right way of production, working, and being productive. Next is what we call synergy. Synergy is actually combined efforts. Not that you own your success individually, but it is kind of teamwork. That anything that is produced is not individual effort, but combined effort. Once people are mentored to work in teams, so through mentorship, you find that combined teamwork is promoted, and we know that teamwork is always very productive and enhances interpersonal relationships. And then we also have this factor that it reduces frustration. In this case, employees that don't understand their jobs and don't know where to go for help, they become frustrated. But once they have mentors, they are encouraged and they are motivated. And lastly, I could wish to say that another benefit is that these two groups, the mentor and the mentee, will always gain connections. The mentee who's not very experienced will get work connections, and nowadays we really need connections at workplace. And in this way, they benefit and feel motivated. What are the benefits employers gain from mentorship programs? There are many. Number one, multi-generational company culture. This is initiating a company culture whereby people become like positive, they have positive relationships and even have a work culture or a work ethic. So like from one generation to another, the company or the organization will also always have a culture and a high level of ethics that is passed from one generation to another. Another point is connecting an expansive network. And in this way, the people get what we call like recommendations. They can get recommendations. And through recommendations, that is networking. And then eventually, the organization also benefits through a stress reduction and anxiety reduction. So we know that people make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. Let it not be that once someone is making mistake, they just give up. And we believe that a single mistake isn't going to cost someone's career. So an organization has mentorship program will always reduce stress to the employees because they feel encouraged, because already they have cheerleaders who are showing them the way. So next, I'm looking at the rewards for the mentor. It is not only the organization, neither only the mentees that benefit, but mentors always benefit also. Because a mentor can take pride and a bit of credit for the work that the mentees are achieving. And then it is the same way when you go to a hospital, you visit someone, there's a satisfaction that you get. It is you who has given out, but there's kind of satisfaction that you get from the fact that you have helped someone. Then the mentor also benefits through the fact that there is quality work produced. So, and in this way, they own up. With an open mind, mentors can also learn. Also, by the way, mentors can always also learn. When you are mentoring someone, there is that relationship, like you are interacting, and then in that way, for example, a mentor who's mentoring employees on how to onboard, they could be interacting with this younger generation, whereby the mentor will also learn technology skills. So in this way, there's also mentorship benefits to a mentor. So next, I'm looking at the challenges of mentoring that an organization may face. Number one, are the mentors motivated? Number two, what will it entail in goal setting for the mentees? Number three, what about effective matching? How is it going to be conducted? 4, open feedback. 5, providing structure. And 6, tracking outcomes. So the challenges that an organization may face when I'm talking about motivated mentors is that sometimes, especially when it is mentorship within the organization, you may have low quality mentors who may be very unsuccessful. The program may not be very successful. Or there may be a communication problem. So in this case, it requires that before the mentors begin even the work, they should look people who are motivated. You know, sometimes they're even motivated by a way that they are compensated. Number 2, goal setting. You know, the mentor may set her own goals, not organizational. So goal setting program has to be really spearheaded by the project manager so that it has to be successful. Then we have effective matching. Mentorship will take on or go on, but how was the pairing done? Some mentees may only look at a mentor's title and they want to choose that title, or friends choose one another. So in this case, sometimes they are given the opportunity to choose partnering, but there's even, I know, a software algorithm that sometimes makes, so it can be like the way even random sampling is done. So matching is also something that a challenge, which has to be looked at keenly. Open feedback. Open feedback, it is you responding in a way that is, you're very open. This is what it's like revealing the secrets of the organization. So sometimes mentees may even fear to say the truth, what they feel, especially when they are being mentored by or someone within the organization. In this way, they may even fear to give feedback. They may give feedback that may also impact on them. So it's also a challenge that has to be looked at keenly. And also providing structure is a challenge. So, but providing support and continuous communication for your participants is crucial so that this thing is structured. Lastly, it is the tracking of outcomes. Tracking outcomes. Reaching your business objectives proves the worth of your program and allows you to continue operation. So feedback and productivity measurement is very, very important. So, and then I move on to common challenges in mentoring relationships between a mentor and mentee. I've been looking at the challenges that the organization may face, but now I'm looking at the challenges between the mentor and mentee that they may face. Meeting are scheduled can be a problem. We agree to meet at 9, but someone comes at 10. Excess time and energy commitments. Also, sometimes people may not follow the program, like they overdo it, timelines, they don't follow the timelines. This has to do with time management. Sometimes unrealistic expectation. You think that your mentor is going to solve all your problems, or the mentor thinks that the mentee must become him, so or her. It's a challenge. Overdependence, sometimes. This also happens, I'm a psychologist, happens in psychology. Like you guide someone through counseling program, and eventually after 10 sessions, they are still depending on you to decide for them whether they'll be going back to college tomorrow or not. So overdependence may also become a problem where the mentor overdepends on the mentoree, or the mentoree, whom we call the mentee also, may overdepend on the mentor. Like even anything wrong that goes or comes about, the mentee starts saying it is the mentor who said so. Then we also have unfair manipulation, where the mentor may also like manipulate, being over manipulative over the mentee. Then resentments of dealers from others. You have seen situations where some people have been picked for mentorship, for training, and then others who remained behind, they are just quarreling, they're wondering why, and then they are not even positive about it. In this case, we say that the solution is communication. Communicate, be transparent on how you even select the people who are going for mentorship. And then finally, it is ineffective mentoring pairs, which I have already talked about. You have to look at it keenly. So in conclusion, I'd wish to conclude, mentorship in any organization is actually inevitable, because mentorship shows the company cares. It makes, in this way, we'll have more engaged workforce and leads to high job satisfaction. Now, once there is high job satisfaction, there will be positive work environment. Once there is positive work environment, there is what I can say, like loyalty to the company. And I'd also wish to say that mentoring provides a clearer career path for the individual. This shows up employee retention, creates a positive company culture, and increases productivity for the business. So now, a question that we are going to ask ourselves: why not make the connection? Spread your knowledge and encourage others to do the same at your company. The knowledge is about mentorship that we are spreading. And also, we know that mentors are actually leaders. A leader does not produce followers, but instead, a leader creates a leader. So I say that's my parting shot, that a leader creates a leader. A mentor creates a mentor. To conclude, we can also look at the quotes from Oprah Winfrey, who's a great mentor and is internationally known. She quotes that A mentor is someone who allows you to see the hope inside yourself. Okay, that's all I have to share.
All right,
And,
thank you. Thank you so much, Esther. That was wonderful. The way you've taken us through the entire mentorship process. I believe we live here well educated and ready, and also very eager to start mentorship programs in our organizations if we have not yet already. I will tackle a few questions. The first question that has come in is from Kelvin, and he's asking, can mentoring be substituted for workplace coaching? What do you think?
Kelvin is asking whether mentoring can be instead of mentoring, coaching
Yes.
can take place.
Yes.
I actually want to say this. I want to say that mentoring is a wider term. So coaching is actually inclusive under mentoring. So in mentoring, it's like you are looking up to someone and you want to follow their footsteps. But as you follow their footsteps, here they'll have coached you. You'll have even looked at their behavior, their character. You'll have even studied their knowledge. So I agree, yes. Only I can say that mentorship is wider than coaching.
All right. Thank you, Esther, for that. We had received two questions earlier, so I'll read one after the other. What should our workplace mentorship program capture? Like, what should it involve?
So what actually, I'd wish to respond to that. What it actually captures, we can go back to what I shared, that a mentorship program has a structure. So you will have to set a goal. After a goal, first of all, identify the need. Once you know the need, you look at the goal. After the goal, you know their objectives. Yes. After the objectives, then now you go through like, what are those objectives that you want to achieve? Those are actually what you're asking about capturing. Like it will capture the objectives of what is this that is lacking, or what is this gap, because it depends on which is your workplace. So the gap is actually what is going to be listed as objectives, and then the objectives are going to be SMART. So eventually they'll be measurable and they will be evaluated through feedback.
Okay, thank you, Esther, for that. I'll read the other question. Both questions were sent by Beth. So the other question is, how long should an effective mentorship program take?
Now, this takes us back to remember the types of mentorship programs? Yes. We said there is the traditional, there's another one we call group, another one we said it's e-mentorship. So there are many. Another one is even anonymous. So all those are different types of mentorship programs. So how long it will take depends on the need. It depends on the need of the what is required as at that time. So if it's something like it's a new organization that is beginning, because you gave that example, a multi-organizational kind of mentorship, you see it will be like at a duration before you even start that business that you are starting, or that organization that you are starting. But if it is something that is you just realize there is COVID-19, and then employees are now no longer coming to work, and they have to be working from home. So short term, how are we going to have the webinars and everything? So you realize it's a short term thing, like 2 weeks or 1 week. All the employees will have been trained on how to work online. So in this case, it actually depends on the need. It depends on the situation. It depends sometimes even on the finances that are available, or the budget that is available for this. Thank you, Purity.
All right, thank you so much, Esther. One final question from Alexander Gilbert. He's
Yes.
asking, does coaching and mentoring have the same obligation at the workplace?
Yes. Now, the question that is being asked here, it's almost the same as the one that I've just answered, the first
Yes.
question, whether coaching can be substituted for mentorship. And I'm going to repeat myself by saying that mentorship is wider than coaching. So under mentorship, there will be coaching. You see, in this case, I'm saying like mentorship, it's like all around. Think of yourself, there's this person that you always admire career-wise, like you want to be like them. And this person, you call them maybe your role model or your mentor. You will be want like all around, most of the things like 80%, you want to be like this person who has succeeded in this field. And not only in this field, and even including a bit of lifestyle. So in this case, you'll want like, remember we talked about the various skills or the wider role of mentorship. We mentioned learning at workplace, and also we talked about the real situation of life, like all around life. So a mentor, it's in mentorship, it will be like all round. But in coaching, coaching is like a specific section. Like you're coaching someone on how to go about doing a certain task in a given organization or at workplace. That's my take.
All right. I thank you so much,
See?
Esther, for that. And I think normally coaching and mentorship, one, they're used interchangeably. And in my own opinion, they almost mean the same thing. It's only that in corporate setups, we tend to use more coaching than mentoring. Whereas if it is church or home or social setups, we want to call it mentoring. That's just my take. Another question from Kelvin. He's asking, in terms of progress, what happens to the mentees when the mentors suddenly leave the organization? Is there a transition, or people are just left in the blank?
Okay. Remember I said this, that the mentors not necessarily need to come from outside. Sometimes we have the mentors within the organization.
Yes.
But it is so good that this question has been raised, because practically there's no way we are going to enter into a mentorship program which is not going to be beneficial to the company and not going to be sustainable. So in this case, once the mentees have been mentored, remember they will also mentor others. So occasionally after this is terminated, the program, if it was running like for 1 month and has been terminated, in this case, there will be like once in a while, maybe once in a year, the mentor can come back until a level is reached whereby you feel like the people you are mentoring now can also start mentoring others. That is why we even have in colleges what we call trainer of trainers, TOT. It is there in many institutions. Like once someone has been trained, they also are even trained how to even train others. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
And purity, I could also wish to add that under mentorship and coaching, I think most organizations have taken coaching as a term because coaching is more of measurable. You see, it's more of measurable, and we want our objectives to be measurable. But mentorship, it's like all around, like you're walking a journey, you want to be like so-and-so, but they're not 100%, but to a higher standard. So when coaching is taken, it's like, it is a specific field and it's easily measurable or evaluated. Thank you, Purity.
Thank you so much, Esther. And I think with that, you've also answered the question for Sharon, where she was asking what is coaching. So I think that one we're clear on that. We come to the end of our webinar today. Thanks to everyone who was able to join us for this particular webinar. I know a few people have asked about certificates of attendance or participation. Kindly reach out to us on the contacts on your screen right now, and you're able to advise you on the way forward if you need a certificate. Also for the presentation, I believe all of us were able to register for the webinar. So we'll send it right after this, together with the recording of this particular webinar. So I think that is it. Thank you so much, Esther, for joining us and sharing your wisdom in terms of mentorship, especially in the scope or in the space of the workplace. That is it from us today. Feel free to contact us. You can drop us an email at info@accurex.co.ke, or send us an SMS or WhatsApp us, or give us a call on 0715 767676 or 0784989898. Make sure you follow us on social media just to see what other webinars we are planning. For the coming week, we have our webinar on mental health at the workplace. That's a very interesting conversation that you should join, just to make sure yourself and the people that you work with in different workplaces, you're in the best state of mind. So other than that, continue keeping safe, maintaining distance, washing your hands, and sanitizing as well. God bless you all. Until next time. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you. Bye too.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.